Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
For that also, you people are very lazy. Okay. So we completed the first two classes coming under Tetrapoda, Amphibia and Reptilia we had completed. So two more classes are remaining. With that, we'll complete the chapter. Aves and Mammalia are remaining. And once I complete Aves and Mammalia, together we'll have a revision of all the four classes. So I'm going to start with Aves. As you know, Aves include the birds. Let's see what are the different features of birds. Any features which you are familiar with? Can you tell me some features of birds? General features. Sania, can you tell me some features? One feature you say about birds. When you from lower classes you had been learning about about birds and its adaptations. Can you tell me one point?
They have feathers.
Their body is covered with feathers. Nia, another point. Nidhi,
They are lightweight.
they are lightweight. What makes their body lightweight?
Mm.
What is special about their bones?
Hollow bones.
They have hollow bones, which makes their hollow bones, which will make their body very light. They have streamlined body. Then only that forelimbs are modified into wings. Okay,
Warm-blooded.
they are warm-blooded. So let us see more about birds. So as you can see, these birds are characterized by the presence of wings. That is one very important feature about birds. They are provided with wings and they can fly. And there are a few flightless birds whose body is heavy and they cannot fly. But apart from that, majority of the birds, they have wings and they are capable of flying. They are provided with beaks and the forelimbs are modified into wings and the hind limbs have some scaly structure, scaly appearance, and those are modified for carrying out different functions, walking, swimming, or clasping tree branches. So when they are flying, when they land on some tree branches to hold it properly without falling down, their their hind limbs will help for the same. Skin is dry. As such, the skin is very dry, but they are provided with certain special glands. You call it as oil glands, which secrete oil. And this oil will make their feathers waterproof. And it is said that these oil, it's having some antibacterial properties and it also keeps their feather and skin very supple and soft. So the main function of these oil glands is to secrete the oil and make their body waterproof, especially the feathers, because if it gets wet with water, it will prevent them from flying. They won't be able to fly. So to a certain extent, this oil glands will help them to keep their body waterproof, and it is present at the base of their tail. So once again, we will see all these points. The first point, what we said was their body is characterized by the presence of wings and they can fly, except a few birds who cannot fly. All of the majority of the birds are capable of flying. They are provided with beaks and their forelimbs are modified into wings, which help them in flying. And at the same time, hind limbs are scaly and it helps them to carry out different functions like walking, swimming, and clasping the tree branches. Another unique feature is the presence of oil glands, which is present at the base of their tail. Then they have got a bony endoskeleton. Ossified means which is made of bones. Endoskeleton is ossified, but the bones are hollow, which makes their body very lightweight so that they can fly. So if the body is too heavy, they cannot fly. So to facilitate their body or to facilitate this lightweighted design, their bones are hollow or pneumatic bones. They are provided with hollow bones, which makes their body very light and helps them in flying. And they respire with the help of lungs, and they are also provided with air sacs. And if we see their digestive system, they are provided with two special chambers. You call it as crop and gizzard, and you can see in the picture crop and gizzard. And crop is a chamber where the food will be temporarily stored. So it will be temporarily stored in the crop, and gizzard is meant for grinding, aiding in digestion. And it will take in some sand particles, grit, small pebbles and all they will take in, and that will be stored in the gizzard. And when the food from the crop reaches the gizzard, with the help of these sand and stone particles, the food will be ground properly to enable digestion. So breaking down of food into small particles will be taking place in the gizzard with the help of the sand and small particles it had already taken in. And in the crop, the food will be temporarily stored. From the crop, it will go to the gizzard where the grinding of the food will take place. And here the heart is four-chambered. Aves and mammals, both of them are four-chambered and homeothermous, or you can say they are warm-blooded. Homeothermous or warm-blooded animals who are having a steady body temperature irrespective of the fluctuation in the external temperature. So once again, so quite a few points we discussed. The endoskeleton is ossified, or they have a bony endoskeleton, and their bones are hollow or pneumatic, and this will make their body lightweighted so that they can fly. Then respiratory organs are lungs and air sac, and in their digestive system they have two special chambers: crop where the food is temporarily stored, and gizzard which consists of some sand and small stone particles which will enable the food grains or food it takes in to get ground, or it will break down into small particles with the help of the grinding action taking place in the gizzard. And they've got a four-chambered heart, and they are warm-blooded animals. Okay, so that was about birds. So please do summarize a few points what we discussed just now. Quickly say the points what we covered. Yes.
Could you repeat about the crop and gizzard?
Crop and gizzard are two chambers in the digestive system of these birds. Okay. And crop is a chamber in their alimentary canal where the food will be temporarily stored. And gizzard is a chamber where grinding of these food substances or food particles will take place. And this is facilitated by the presence of some sand particles, because it is gritty. Sand particles, stone and all will be present inside the gizzard. They'll mix up, or they will enable the grinding of the food particles which it takes in, or you can say it facilitates digestion. Okay, Nandana? Was that Nandana
Yes,
who asked me? Yes. Okay, tell me, Nandana, I'll start with you. Tell me one point about aves.
They have an ossified endoskeleton with long hollow bones.
Yes. Evelyn, another point.
The respiratory organ, lungs and air sacs.
Okay. Then Anna.
The skin is dry with oil glands.
Where can you find the oil glands?
Present at the base of the
Of the
tail.
tail. Okay. Rijaz?
Their heart is four chamber.
Four-chambered heart. Gayatri?
They are warm-blooded.
They are warm-blooded. Then anything we left out? Nidhi, what we left out?
Their four limbs are modified into wings, and hind limbs are
Scaly, and they help them to carry out
scales
swimming
for walking.
and clasping or holding the tree branches. Okay, let us continue. Okay, the next point is about reproduction taking place in aves, internal fertilization. They are oviparous, they lay eggs. Direct development, no larval stages involved. Sexes are separate. Then examples, many examples are there. Some examples they have given in the textbook, and the same thing I've also included here. Almost all the birds come at any of the birds you can give as examples. Corvus or crow, columba or pigeon, and Psittacula or parrot. So these are a few examples of birds. Once again, it carries out internal fertilization and lays eggs. Oviparous. And here the sexes are separate and the development is direct. No larval stages involved. And the sexes are separate. And the examples, any examples of birds you can give. Crow, pigeon, parrot. Give any examples. Then the next, the last class under vertebrata or under tetrapod, this is the last class, it is Mammalia. We are also included under this class, Mammalia. And you can find them in a variety of habitats. You cannot limit that mammals are found only in this particular habitat. You can find a wide variety of animals are there under the class Mammalia, and you can find them in different habitats. And they show different adaptations depending upon the habitat where you find them. They show different adaptations. Some are adapted to fly, some are adapted to walk, and some are adapted to swim. So depending upon the habitat where they are living, accordingly they have different adaptations. And it got the name Mammalia because of the presence of mammary glands. All mammals are provided with a pair of mammary glands, and these mammary glands are meant for producing milk for nourishing their young ones. So that is why it got the name Mammalia. The presence of mammary glands gave the name Mammalia. And lungs are the respiratory organs. They are provided with two pairs of limbs, and the skin is covered by hair. The body is covered with hair. Even if you take the case of human beings also, even though the entire part, early humans, they were also having a body covered fully with hair, but now also your body has got hair follicles, and even though it is restricted, but still your body is covered, skin is provided with hair. And external ears are present, provided with pinna or external ear. What you see externally, once again we'll see the points. You can find them in different habitats, and different organisms, they show different adaptations so as to survive in that particular habitat. Some are adapted for flying, swimming, walking, etc. And they are provided with mammary glands, which will enable them to produce milk so that they can nourish their young ones. Then they respire using lungs, and the skin is covered by hair. A pair of limbs are present, and another feature is the presence of external ears. Okay. The next about their heart, as I told you, just like aves, mammals are also provided with four-chambered heart, two auricles and two ventricles, so two atria and two ventricles, and they are warm-blooded or homeothermous. Reproduction. Reproduction is internal, sexes are separate, and they are viviparous because they give birth to their young ones. But at the same time, exceptional cases are there. Echidna and platypus, both of them are mammals, but both lay eggs. So that is an exceptional case. But other than that, generally mammals give birth to their young ones. You can see echidna and platypus there. Duck-billed platypus. Second figure is duck-billed platypus, and the first one is echidna. Then direct development, no larval stage involved. Several examples are there. Panthera leo or our lion, Homo sapiens or man. Then we have dolphin. Then blue whale, Belenoptera, blue whale. All these are some of the examples of mammals. Okay. So heart is four-chambered, and why, can anybody tell me why its heart is four-chambered? Why in mammals and birds the heart is four-chambered? There is a reason. You have learned in detail in 10th standard why they need four chambers. What is the significance of having four chambers? Anybody is remembering?
Due to energy.
Yes, Nandana?
The energy level is high, so to
Energy level? Energy, correct? You come to the point.
It is high, that's why to compensate it.
The energy requirement is high. Now my next question is, why their energy requirement is high? In the slide itself, the answer is there. Why they need more energy? Can anyone help Nandana to complete the answer? You know, you have learned.
For hunting.
We go for hunting.
Yeah, we used to go.
That you need. Physically, you think about your physiology and tell me. Internal, some reactions taking place. We come under warm-blooded or cold-blooded?
Warm-blooded.
Who said cold-blooded?
To maintain body temperature.
We are warm-blooded.
Warm-blooded.
So warm-blooded means what?
They need to maintain their body temperature.
Yes, Sania. They have to
maintain their body temperature.
They have to maintain a constant body temperature. Isn't it energy requiring process?
Yes.
Yes. So they need more energy when compared to cold-blooded animals, birds and mammals. They are warm-blooded. So they need to maintain a constant body temperature. This requires energy. And what is the advantage of having four chambers? These four chambers will prevent the mixing up of what blood?
Oxygenated and
deoxygenated blood. Since these four chambers are separated, right and left side are separated. Which side receives pure blood?
Left.
You fix on one. Left receives pure blood, right receives impure blood. And the right and left side of the heart, or the blood present in right and left side, will never mix. And these four chambers will separate the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. So when it is separated like that, there will be better supply of oxygen, because oxygen rich blood is not mixing up with carbon dioxide rich blood. So there will be better supply of oxygen. The better the supply of oxygen, better will be the supply of energy. You know that oxygen is essential to release energy. Oxygen will oxidize food particles and release energy. The higher the oxygen, better will be the energy release. Okay? You have heard about double circulation, not heard about. You have learned about double circulation, which keeps deoxygenated and oxygenated blood separate, providing better efficient supply of oxygen, leading to better energy release. Hope you are remembering all that. Yes? I am remembering, but you are not remembering. Okay, now quickly we will have a recap of what we covered. Aves and mammals. We'll start with mammals, then we'll go backwards. This period is still 340. 340. Okay, quickly we'll have a recap. Now, I don't want to force anybody to say the answer, because these are very, very simple sentences which you already know, which you've already learned in 9th standard. You say all those voluntarily. Don't make me call out the names just like I'm calling out some KG children. You respond fast. make my work as well as your work easier. Okay, you can start. Everyone take turns. All be thorough with at least 1 point. We are going to start with mammals. By one, you can tell me the points. I'm not going to call out the name. Don't force me
They
to
are
call out
found
your name.
in
Yes.
various habitats.
You can find mammals in different habitats. Good. Then,
Respiratory organs, lungs. Respiratory organs, lungs.
and one more. Okay, respiratory organ, lungs. I thought birds. Okay, correct, Steffi. Next point.
2 pairs of limbs.
2
So
pairs of limbs.
adaptation that
Oh,
so that adaptation that enable them to fly.
yes.
Swim,
So
walk.
they have adaptations because they are found in different habitats and they are provided with the different adaptations which enable them to fly, swim or walk. Okay, good. Then
Skin is covered with hairs.
skin is covered with hair or hairy skin. Then
External ears are present.
external ears are present. This is what I want, children. I want you to respond like this. Then you, what to say, I get recharged. Otherwise, I'll feel drowsy. I'll feel that I'm exhausted. But when you respond like this, no, even if I feel tired, I'll forget all that. Okay, continue. Now don't stop. Okay, continue.
2 pairs of limbs.
2 pairs of limbs. Then
No
4-chambered heart.
Mammary glands.
Yes.
Mammary glands.
Mammary glands are present, which will produce milk to nourish their young ones. Then reproduction. They are warm-blooded. Good. Then about the reproduction, you can say now.
Fertilization is internally.
Fertilization is internal. Good. Then
They are viviparous.
viviparous. Then
Development
2 of
is
them are
direct.
not viviparous. Which are those 2?
Aves and reptilia.
It's in
Under
the
mammals. Under mammals. 2 names I said.
it's in the platypus.
Platypus and echidna. Okay, then. What about development? Direct development. Some rare examples you say, which you commonly think as those animals are belonging to some other class. Some exceptional examples we said. Which are those? Which are the examples under mammals? Avoid us. Don't include human beings. What else we said?
Platypus and
Repeat, I didn't get it. It was not clear.
platypus.
Platypus. Okay. Then some aquatic animals I said. Forgot. 2 examples which you might include under fishes. Dolphin and
Blue whales.
blue whale. Dolphin, blue whale, both of them are mammals. Now we'll start with aves. Yes, start. 10 more minutes to go. Let this be
They
our happy
have
hour. Yes. Some
They
of
have
them,
beaks.
see, one minute. I am noting those who are not opening their mouth. Don't think that I'm turning to this side. I can recognize your voice by now, whether it is new student or old student. Okay. Start. Those who did not respond so far. Finished.
4
Presence of wings.
modified.
Lydia, yes?
4 limbs are modified to wings.
4 limbs are, you're saying about aves, 4 limbs are modified into wings for flying. Then,
Respiratory organ through lungs and air sacs.
they respire through air sacs and lungs. Then,
They have beaks.
yes, Meenakshi?
They have dry oil glands.
They have got oil glands. Where are these oil glands present, Vidur?
At tail.
At the base of the tail. Then, next point.
Bony
They have
endoskeleton.
beaks.
Oh,
Bony endoskeleton.
bony endoskeleton. They have got a bony endoskeleton. Then,
Heart is 4-chambered.
heart is 4-chambered and they are what-blooded?
Warm blood.
Warm-blooded. Warm-blooded means, what is meant by warm-blooded animals, Malavika? What are warm-blooded animals?
They can regulate their body temperature.
They
Can regulate. They cannot.
we regulate, we keep fluctuating our temperature.
No.
Then
They cannot regulate.
we maintain or they maintain a constant body temperature irrespective of the external temperature, or else you can say depending upon the when it is very cold outside, accordingly your body temperature will not go down, and when the temperature is too high outside, your body temperature will not increase, provided you are not having any sort of infection. Other than that, your body has on mechanism to maintain a constant body temperature. Okay, so with that we have completed the chapter Animal Kingdom. So 4 chapters we have completed, and our next chapter is Morphology of Flowering Plants, and actually it is a very big chapter which takes time to complete, but this year hope you got that deleted topics. I think I have forwarded in that group. You got it, no? And you
Yes.
also can keep checking, and if by mistake I am taking any topic deleted, you can tell me. So actually it is a very lengthy chapter, but this year you don't have to learn about stem, root, only inflorescence and flower, not even seed or fruit, all those you don't have to learn. And so next class we'll be starting morphology of flowering plants, and under that we'll be learning about flower. All these are very simple chapters, and some of the tough topics they have deleted, so take advantage of that and try to score good marks. And your exams are going to start in October, so all the chapters which we are covering by then you will be having till that, maybe till the last week of this month, all the topics will be included, and make it a point to learn your daily lesson. Otherwise, especially biology, I don't know about other subjects, whichever be the subject, when it piles up like that, it will be a burden for you and you don't feel like learning. And biology, why I'm saying is, even though usually people think it is very easy, so those who are not learning biology, for them biology is very easy, but those who are learning biology, they know how difficult terms are there and how difficult it is to recollect, and to avoid confusion you get interchanged, and if the correct term, scientific term is not included in your answer, you will definitely lose marks. So that is why regularly I'm asking questions, so that thinking about the questions which you're going to get, you will pay some attention and note down some points. So start your revision, otherwise it will be too late. So this chapter is completed. What I am planning is to have a class test based on this chapter. Will you support? Would you like to have? I don't mind, it is time consuming for me. If you don't want, just an objective type. I'm planning to take an objective type MCQ test. If you want, let me know. Okay, I don't want you to tell me now. You think and tell me if you want, I will conduct an MCQ test based on this chapter, so that at least you will read the chapter, just like you have your MCQ test, and I expect you will do it sincerely. If you want, let me know. Okay, so we'll wind up our session today. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. See you next class.